So, you're ready to build the gaming PC of your dreams, huh? Well, don't. Until you watch this video to the very end. Before you start spending on the PC parts, you need to know what you're getting into. I'm about to give you the breakdown on all the essential components. We'll talk specs, jargon, and everything in between so you can create a rig that'll blow your socks off. Alright, let's dive straight into it. CPU, the central processing unit. It's the brain of your PC. It's in charge of every calculation, every command, and every frame of that epic explosion you're about to trigger in your game. For gaming, you want a CPU that can handle the pressure. Something that won't break a sweat even when all the players on the server land on your spot. Intel and AMD are the two big names in the CPU world. You'll see names like Intel Core i5, i7, or i9, and AMD Ryzen 5, 7, or 9. Basically, the higher the number, the more powerful and usually pricier the CPU. But don't just go for the highest number you can find. Think about the games you want to play. Are you a casual gamer who enjoys a few rounds of Among Us? Or are you a hardcore raider wanting to battle in Star Trek Online? Your gaming style will help determine the kind of CPU horsepower you'll need. Or better, just go to this website, cpu.userbenchmark.com. User Benchmark's gaming score tells you how well a CPU performs in games. A higher score is better. Now that you've got the brain, it's time to give it a home. That's where the motherboard comes in. It is the bedrock upon which your whole PC will be built. The motherboard connects all your components, like your CPU, RAM, and storage, and gives them the power and communication channels they need to work together. You need to choose the right motherboard, because not all motherboards are made the same. They come in different sizes with different features and support different types of CPUs. Make sure the motherboard you pick is compatible with your chosen CPU and has enough slots for your RAM and any other expansion cards you might want to add later. You know what? Here's a trick of the trade. Visit PCPartPicker.com, go to the motherboard page, and create a list of the parts you're considering for your PC build. The website will automatically check for compatibility issues, such as CPU and motherboard socket. It'll ensure your CPU fits the motherboard socket. RAM and motherboard. It'll confirm that your RAM type and speed align with what your motherboard supports. PSU wattage. It'll estimate the total power your components need and check if your chosen power supply can handle it. Case clearance. It'll make sure your components, like your graphics card, physically fit inside your chosen case. Now, RAM, or random access memory, is your computer's short-term memory. It's where your PC stores data that it needs to access quickly. RAM comes in two main types nowadays, DDR4 and DDR5. DDR5 is newer and faster, but it's also more expensive. If you're building a new PC, get DDR5. If you're on a budget or have an older PC already, DDR4 is fine. Again, just make sure your motherboard supports the right type. For gaming, 16 GB of RAM is usually a good starting point. But if you're planning on doing some serious multitasking, like streaming your gameplay or editing videos while you game, you might want to bump that up to 32 GB. More RAM means smoother gameplay, faster load times, and less chance of your PC stuttering or freezing when things get hectic. Alright, now for the real star of the show, the component that's gonna make your games look absolutely stunning, the GPU, or Graphics Processing Unit. Now, there are a few things to look for when picking one out. First up, memory. We call it VRAM. It's the fuel for your graphics card. The more it has, the better it can handle the high-res textures and effects in games. Then there's the horsepower. For NVIDIA cards, these are called CUDA cores. AMD calls them stream processors. Basically, the more cores, the more power your GPU has to push those pixels and make your games look awesome. Imagine two cars, one with a tiny engine, the other with a massive V8. The one with the bigger engine is gonna go faster, right? Same with GPUs. More cores equal more speed and smoother gameplay. Newer generations of graphic cards come with better tech and features, so if you can afford it, go for the latest models. There are two main options for you, NVIDIA and AMD, with their respective GeForce and Radeon lineups. So how do you choose between these? Now, here's the deal. AMD is generally known for offering great performance for the price in the mid-range. You can get a card that'll handle those games beautifully without emptying your wallet. NVIDIA tends to be the top dog when it comes to raw power, but you'll pay a premium for it. They also offer some cool features like DLSS, which can give you a performance boost in certain games. So, if you're chasing the absolute highest frame rate and don't mind spending a bit more, then NVIDIA might be worth it. But if you're looking for a solid balance of price and performance, AMD is a strong contender. To help you choose the right GPU, check out Tom's Hardware site for GPU hierarchy. They rank graphics cards from top to bottom, so you can see which ones offer the best performance for your budget. In numbers, remember to match your GPU to your monitor. If you have a 4K or 8K display, get a more powerful graphics card to make the most of it. Also, just like pairing the right engine with a car, balance your GPU with your CPU. A powerful graphic card won't reach its full potential if your CPU can't keep up. Now that you got your graphics sorted, let's talk about storage. This is where all your games, applications, and memes will live. You've got two main choices: SSDs or solid-state drives, or HDDs, hard disk drives. SSDs are the Ferraris of storage. They're lightning fast, which means your PC will boot up with a blink of an eye, and games will load super quick. But they're also a bit more expensive. HDDs, on the other hand, are like the reliable old trucks of storage. They're not as speedy, but they offer a ton of space for a lower price. Many gamers opt for a combination of both: a smaller SSD for their operating system and frequently used games, and a larger HDD for storing their extensive game library and other files. Alright, now for a component that doesn't get as much love as it deserves: the PSU, or Power Supply Unit. It delivers power to all your components, so choose one that can handle the load. So to choose, you'll need to calculate the total power your components need. You can use online calculators like Newegg for this. Once you have that number, add about 30% for safety and future upgrades. At the end, what you get is the minimum wattage your PSU should have. Now for the fun part where you get to show off your personality and style. Do you want a sleek minimalist design or a flashy RGB light show? Maybe you prefer a compact case that fits snugly on your desk, or a massive tower with enough room for all the upgrades you can dream of. But a case isn't just about its looks. It also keeps components cool and protected. Look for a case with good airflow, plenty of space for cable management, and maybe even some dust filters to keep your precious hardware clean. Most CPUs come with a stock cooler, which is usually good enough for basic tasks. But if you're planning on beating the shit out of it with the hardcore games, you might want to invest in an aftermarket cooler. Aftermarket coolers come in two main types: air coolers and liquid coolers. Air coolers are more affordable and easier to install, but liquid coolers offer better performance and quieter operation. Alright, now a few more things. Your monitor. Get the highest refresh rate possible. A monitor's refresh rate is measured in Hertz, or Hz, which tells how smooth your gameplay feels. You can think of it like flipping through pages in a book. The more pages per second, the smoother the story. Higher refresh rates, like 144 Hz or even 240 Hz, give you a noticeable advantage in fast-paced games. Speaking of which, don't forget the resolution. 1080p is standard, but 1440p or 4K is crisper if your PC can handle it. Check out monitors from brands like LG, Samsung, Asus, Acer, and BenQ. And be sure to read reviews on rtings.com or Tom's Hardware to find the best fit for your needs and budget. And for the keyboard, skip the mushy membrane ones and go for a mechanical one. They're more responsive, more durable, and give you that satisfying clickety-clack feel. Popular brands like Razer, Logitech, Corsair, Ducky, and HyperX have good quality ones. Then, the mouse. For it, the main metric is DPI, or dots per inch, which tells how fast your cursor moves. The higher the DPI, the faster it goes, but it also takes more control. Top brands like Logitech, Razer, Corsair, and SteelSeries offer a variety of shapes and sizes to fit different grips. Finally, your headset. It is your command center. Sound quality matters, sure, but don't forget about comfort, especially if you're in it for the long haul. Look for headsets with plush ear cups and adjustable headbands. Make sure the microphone is up to par for trash-talking your opponents, or, strategizing with your teammates. HyperX, SteelSeries, Logitech, and Corsair all make great headsets for gamers. And there you have it. You now know how to pick the right parts and build the gaming rig of your dreams. Comment down below if you still need help. Please like, share, subscribe, and watch this next video right here.